We need to have a talk. A serious talk. All of us. Everybody. Fans, drivers. Sit down and listen up. Because we seem to not be agreeing on something. And that something is Throwback Weekend. I love Throwback Weekend. If you know me, you know I love Throwback Weekend. And I thought that was the general consensus. But after this weekend, doesn't seem to be the case. I'll get more on that in a second. Hey, hi, howdy. Happy Tuesday. Happy Social Speedway Tuesday. Welcome to NASCAR Daily. I'm JPunch, and I'm clearly on one this morning because I was very frustrated after I heard some of the comments that were said in the media center earlier in the weekend at Darlington regarding the overall spectacle of Throwback Weekend. Here's what some of the drivers had to say.
Do you feel like this weekend has lost its luster over time?
I thought it lost it about 4 or 5 years ago, so I was way too early to that conversation, I think.
But this is the 10th year of the Throwback Weekend, and I'm sure you've seen some of the debate.
Played out about 5 years now since I'm glad we don't participate. The cars look cool, but move on to something different.
Well, it took 10 years for somebody to finally do a Kyle Busch one, so thanks to William and the team and the Xfinity side, that's pretty cool to finally have one. But when I look at fan reception, I feel like the fans really love it. And even if some of the drivers may think it's a little overblown or whatever, like, it's not for us. It's for the people that are in the grandstands and for their pure joy in just seeing some of the older cool schemes that come back to life in this day and age.
Thank you, Kyle. Surprisingly, Kyle Busch and I are on the same page this morning. Because that's the thing. It's not for the drivers. It's for the fans. And they clearly love it. We clearly love it as fans. Why not let us continue to have fun? And I also think that if you think that it's lost its luster or that it's maybe overrated, you're missing the point of Throwback Weekend. The entire point of Throwback Weekend is to honor and pay tribute to everyone in this sport that got us to this weekend. A lot of people drove race cars, worked on race cars, talked about race cars, built race cars before this weekend. And we're bringing in new fans every day. What a neat opportunity to take an entire weekend to teach them about the history of our sport. And honestly, without Throwback Weekend, we wouldn't have been able to see or really learn some stories like this.
My name is Raymond Fox III.
My name is Justin Fox. I'm the rear tire changer for Todd Gilliland.
I work for Team Penske as car chief for Brian Blaney. The throwback scheme is
my great-grandfather's when he was a car owner.
my grandfather.
Ray Fox doesn't dare breathe as Baker, running smooth as ever, moves up to take the white flag.
My grandfather started out as just a mechanic.
Fox is the first mechanic to have won a big race on each of the 4 NASCAR superspeedways.
Progressed to be a car owner, and he was just a racer.
The 34 of Todd Gilliland ran this tribute scheme to Ray Fox, who was an engineer, become car owner, and now his great-grandson, Justin Fox, is a rear tire changer on that 34 car. What a cool opportunity for them to pay tribute to his great-grandfather. And I never would have known that story if it weren't for this weekend. And you might say, find other ways to pay tribute on the weekends. Well, they do. For example, Christopher Bell runs a sticker every single weekend on his car, paying tribute to Rick Ferkel, who was his mentor and an intricate part of his dirt racing career growing up. But if it weren't for this past weekend and seeing 2 paint schemes honoring Rick Ferkel, I wouldn't have known about him. He was an original member of the World of Outlaws and, like I said, mentor to Christopher Bell, a huge reason that Christopher's even able to race every single weekend.
We have 2 super special throwback schemes that I can't wait to show you guys. Rick Ferkel is the Ohio Traveler. He's an old school sprint car racer that made the number 0 famous. He lived in Ohio but would go all over the country chasing the highest paying purses for sprint car races. He hired me to drive a sprint car whenever I was a young 16-year-old kid, and I moved in with him and lived with him through a period of my young adulthood life. I'm honored to be able to pay tribute to Rick for the Throwback Weekend. At Darlington on Saturday, I'll be repping his famous cream and orange on the Sport Clips Supra. And then on Sunday, I'll be able to carry his legendary number 0 in the DeWalt Camry. I would always ask Rick, how do you deal with the nerves before you get ready for a race? And the best advice that he ever gave me was he told me I needed to embrace them. And the day that I quit getting nervous is the day that you quit caring. Every week, I carry his logo, the Ferkel Circle, and the Ohio Traveler sticker on my dash in my Toyota Camry.
Or even Ryan Blaney, who had an opportunity to tribute his dad, running his one and only Busch win back from 2006, a paint scheme honoring that. And we were so close to seeing that car in Victory Lane. You're telling me that seeing Ryan Blaney win in a paint scheme that is an honor to his father, sitting in Victory Lane with his dad, Dave Blaney, that would have been such a cool moment for our sport. You're telling me that's overrated? Lost its luster? And before I go, we sadly lost a member of the NASCAR family this week. Former IndyCar driver and NASCAR team owner Shige Hattori passed away. Many drivers and members of the racing world are paying tribute to him on social media, as he was an integral part in developing a lot of our top tier talent. And as a team owner, his Truck Series team won the 2018 championship with Brett Moffitt behind the wheel. Our thoughts and prayers are with his friends and family.